Good morning, everyone. My name is Sal DiVincenzo. I'm one of the business librarians here at the Miller Business Center and like to welcome you to Business Bites. This morning's program is nice and short and sweet, and it's a program about doing research using some really great resources, some that we have here at the center, and most of which are available uh, to you for free. And some of these resources you might have heard of before. Some hopefully you haven't. Some are geared more towards the consumer. Some are geared more towards the researcher. So we'll touch on each of those. In this program, we pretty much do this once a year. It's we didn't do it last year because of the pandemic, but this week is Money Smart Week, which is something that has been going out on for about 20 years now, and it's just a kind of a financial education awareness week. So we like to do this program during this week. So we're happy that you came by today to do it. Once again, any questions or comments? What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this in sections. So you can type them in the chat, and I'll get to them after each section. So without further ado, let's jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to start with a web service that you might have heard of before. And the reason why I'm starting with this one in particular is because there were some, while I was freshening up this program, like I said, I've done this program before, but while I was freshening it up for today's presentation, there were some terms, there was some terminology, some words that were new to me, and I had a hard time figuring out what they were. So I went to this site, and this site is Investopedia. You may have heard of it before. And what's great about Investopedia is, again, it's a consumer-based website, so it's not going to be too difficult in their wording and their explanation. It's really meant for those folks who are interested in their finances, interested in banking, interested in investing, to come to this site and get information, get news on what things are, what terms mean, and so on and so forth. Like compound interest, for example, is the term of the day. They always have a term of the day on the site. Um, and you have the description of what compound interest is and what that means to you when you're investing and when you're saving. So I wanted to point out just a couple of sections here. First of all, most of what I like to use here is the education tab, and specifically the dictionary. So for me, the term that I was having a hard time figuring out what it meant was ETF. I was like, what is ETF? So I came here, came down to see what's ETF. Oh, ETF is an exchange traded fund. Oh, what's an exchange traded fund? So you can click on that. You get this very nice article. You can see they update these articles on a regular basis, and you can come here and see what an ETF is. It's an exchange traded fund, is a type of security that tracks an index, sector, commodity, or other asset. So there's some things here that you might want to also check on to see what is a commodity, what are those, so on and so forth, those different terms there. And gives you kind of key takeaways, shows you the what a cash invested in this type of fund looks like over the past few years, and shows you the different types of ETFs, um, what the typical quarterly share price is for some of the larger ETFs. And again, it gives you examples of the real world ETFs here. And this is really nice. So these are pros and cons. So pros of investing in an ETF and cons of investing in ETF. So this is a very, they call it a dictionary, but it's really much more than that. There's a lot of hyperlinks in here, so you can click on to uh, other terms and kind of research through to see what are we talking about and what do these things mean. The other nice thing about Investopedia is that if there's anything that's going on right now in the news, like if there are news stories out there about the market, they will put the top search trends here. Like, I have no idea what crack spread is. A crack spread refers to the overall pricing difference between a barrel of crude oil and petroleum products refined from it. That's pretty interesting. I had no idea about that. So that's somewhere in the news today. Someone's talking about crack spread, and now you can come here and you can look that up and see, okay, what exactly does that mean? And they'll put the top ones up here as well. So that's the first really powerful part of this site. And like I said, there's other sites out there that do the same thing. I just wanted to start you off with this one. I'm going to show you another one in a moment. But a lot of people are talking about the economy now. So you can come here and click on economics and see great articles about what's happening in the news regarding economics. So these are all uh, articles. You can click on the article to see what it's about, get you nice information here. And again, there's going to be links through to other parts of the site that are going to help you based on the article that you were reading about. So again, Roth IRA, stocks, mutual funds. It's just a general place for you to get started. This is a great starting point when it comes to investing, saving, retirement, all that kind of stuff. It is right here. Um, so if you go to investing essentials, it'll best stock screeners. And again, if you don't know what a stock screener is, you can come back and look up stock screener. And again, all these articles are pretty fresh. This one was updated last week. Explains what is appreciation. There's also nice videos too, which is very cool. So a great starting point for you in investing and saving, and talking about, well, what are all these things mean? You can come here. Now, I know a lot of you are probably interested in the whole cryptocurrency trend that's going on. This is also a site that I suggest coming to. It'll explain how Bitcoin works, what cryptocurrency is, um, how you can trade cryptocurrency and invest in cryptocurrency. And you can see this one is a particularly long article because there's a lot going on with cryptocurrency right now, and a lot of folks are saying it's going to be the future of investing. So we'll see. We'll see. It could be just a fad, but we'll take a look at that. So my first suggestion when you're doing research for money is Investopedia. Similarly, we have Bankrate. Now, Bankrate is what I like about Bankrate specifically is, and what I've used Bankrate for specifically, is to compare banks and compare interest rates at banks. If I want to invest my money, if I want to maybe uh, you know see who is going to be doing the best savings rate, you can come here. And specifically, what's nice about this is it's geolocation based. So in this case, it knows I'm in Centereach, and these are the top three um, interest rates right now that are being offered by these banks. Now, you will probably notice that unfortunately these are not local banks. They're not brick and mortar banks here. These are online banks that may have brick and mortar but not necessarily here. We're going to go in a little bit and I'm going to show you where you can look up banks and their actual locations and their brick and mortar and their ATMs and whether or not they have live tellers or not. But this is a great spot to see, okay, I want to invest money. I want, in this case, you can put your deposit amount so you can see if there's any minimums. And 25,000 is probably above any minimums that any of these places are showing. So you can see right now, Marcus by Goldman Sachs is going to give you the best return. It's really scary to look at this because I feel like just a few years ago, these rates were at, these APYs were 1.5 and 2% for some of these, especially Sally Mae. Personally, I use Sally Mae to save for college, and I know that when I first started, it was definitely over a percentage point. So things have changed, but you can see here what you're looking for. And you can also select what type of product you want to do. If you want to do a money market IRA, you can add that and it'll add any of them. Again, these are the top three in our location. They're all off, they're all electronic banking. Uh, but it's also a great way to compare those rates. And it's interesting because when I was a youngling, when I was a kid, I remember, and they probably still do this, but this was always in the financial section of the newspaper. It was like almost like a little ad, and they would have like the best interest rates. And they tend to do more local banks, which is nice about like Newsday. But again, if you were to click on all products here, you're going to get everybody, any local banks will show up here. Um, and you can keep going and going and going. Okay. So, credit cards is another section that I like to use here on this website. And what's nice is that this is a free service. There are some of the financial monitoring services that are out there now that charge, and it's part of their service where they'll help you compare credit cards. But this is free, so you can come here. You can say, I want, I'm going to be hopefully we're all going to be traveling the upcoming year, next year. I want to compare the best airline credit cards. And you can see here the best airline credit cards. Best for travel rewards on dining is the American Express Gold Card. Best Southwest Starter Card. We have Southwest Airlines here at Islip. So you can see this is the starter card. Tells you the top features, gives you an editor's take. So they have editors there at Bankrate that write great articles. And they'll also show you what the introductory bonuses are for that as well. And they'll give you the basics of how they rate their cards. But if you're looking for a credit card, obviously do it responsibly. Don't get yourself into credit card debt. But if you are looking for a credit card, Bankrate has a great way of going through this. And again, they do the major part of this website is to compare and to shop for loans and credit cards, and what you should do for investing and brokerage reviews and such, so on and so forth. So it's a great resource, and I do highly recommend you using it. And again, it's free. You can create an account and gather all your research together, and so this way you can have like a dashboard of everything that you're working on. So Investopedia and Bankrate, two great sites for educational purposes to do your research as far as just the basics. Okay. Now I mentioned banks before. Let me get to there we go, Bank Find. I mentioned banks before, and I'm going to just to mention really quickly, the majority of what I'm going to talk about today is going to be available on a web page that I'm going to post on the chat at the end. So this way you can go to it and just link to whatever we talked about. I'll have a list of all the links that I talked about. So I'm sure you've heard of, hopefully you've heard of FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. When you're banking, they're the ones who are going to insure your money up to a certain amount. I think it's $250,000. They have this great database, and before I mentioned, some of these websites are consumer based, where they're very friendly looking, easy to use. Front facing is going to be for regular folks. I do feel like the FDIC website is going to be more for researchers, a little more text based, and for more for like myself, being a business librarian, I tend to come to these sites first when it comes to this kind of stuff. But this is great if you're looking for information on a bank. Sometimes you'll get things in the mail about a credit card, credit card offer, or sometimes you may see something. You might get a telephone call or an email or something, and you just want to research, is this a legit bank or not? I've never heard of this bank before. Or you're looking at opening an account with a bank, and you want to see, hey, which bank has the most ATMs near me? Which bank has the most brick and mortar locations near me? So this is a great place to come to. It also will give you the history of the bank as well, which is, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So I can come here and I can search for a specific bank name. So let's say you've signed up for a credit card with a retail credit card. So retail credit cards are not uh, managed or owned by the retailer. So if I get a Best Buy card, or if I get a Dress Barn, which I think they're online now only, but Dress Barn or Ann Taylor or Macy's or Lowe's, all these credit cards for specifically for stores. The retailer is not managing that credit card. They're being managed by other banks. So sometimes you're going to get uh, you're going to either get mail from those companies, and they're going to say, hey, sign up for our credit card, and it's going to have a bank name that some of you may have never heard of them. This is a great place to come to make sure it's legit, and also to see the history of that bank. So the one I like to pick is Synchrony. You may or may not heard of Synchrony. I've been banking with them for a very long time now, and I'll show you. We'll go do a search here. So you look up Synchrony. You can just do it here in bank name. You can also search by website address. If you're really geeky and you have the actual certificate number, you can search that way. And you can also search for locations as well. I'm going to just do a bank name search right now. So Synchrony Bank does credit cards for a number of popular companies. If you have the Amazon credit card, not the Visa card, but the Amazon credit, like the store credit card, it is managed by Synchrony. If you have a Lowe's credit card for Lowe's home improvement, it is managed by Synchrony. So you would see this on your, when you get the mail, it's, coming from them. So you're like, oh, who is this? So you can come here and look. So you can see they're actually been established since 1988. They're a federal savings bank. And it says here their primary federal regulator is the OCC. That's the Office of the Comptroller. These are federal government organizations. You have their primary website, so you can go straight to their website and see what they're all about. And then you can see here if they have any branches, they will be listed here. Now, Synchrony they do have two buildings, or they actually have two buildings that are just for home banking. So you probably can't walk in there, but they do have a full service brick and mortar site in Salt Lake, which is their home office. But they're not a traditional bank in the sense that you can't go there and do banking. It's mostly, like I said, the retail credit cards. And you may have, if you've been banking for a while or have had a retail card for a long time, you might recognize who they used to be. And when I first started banking with them, this is what they used to be, and that was GE Capital. So when I first got my Lowe's credit card, it was a GE Capital consumer credit card, and you can see that they started as Monogram Bank in 1988. They moved their office in 89 to Cincinnati, and then they changed the name to GE Capital, and so on and so forth. And you can see that, let's see, when did they go to, well, they moved in 2009. They changed their institution name in 2014 to Synchrony. So that's when all the marketing changed for them. So you get a nice little history of this credit card provider, and you can see they've been around for a while now. You can click on to get the institution profile. This is where all those geeky numbers are. And again, before I showed you the other names, you can see what their other names were. Started as Monogram. Before they were Synchrony, they were GE Capital Consumer Card Company. So it's a great way of confirming, okay, is this bank, legit? Is this credit card that I'm about to sign up for, what are they? So if you signed up for a Lowe's credit card in the store, they're going to run a credit report. And on the credit report is not going to say Lowe's, is going to say this company here, Synchrony. So now, if you wanted to search for banks in specific locations, you can do that as well. So let's say I want a bank in our backyard here. I can say zip code 11720, and I can see the two banks that are in center each here. Obviously, these are the larger banks. I can click on the Chase, and you can see it's the Center Reach Banking Center branch. Get the address, click on it, get a nice little map so you can see where they are. And then you can get the history of JP Morgan Chase and see what their other names are. And if you wanted to, you can see all of their locations by simply unselecting this. And now you are seeing every single JP Morgan Chase uh, bank location. And it's a pretty cool feature if you're thinking of changing banks and you want to see, okay, are they close to work, are they close to home, so on and so forth. It's just a really easy thing. Now, granted, you can go to the bank's website, but that's if you already know what bank you want to bank with. So this is great to show you all the banks in that area, and it's a little more controlled than just doing like a Google search or a Yellow Pages search. So this is the bank fine for the FDIC. Now we have a different type of uh, bank here on Long Island that I'm sure you've heard of. It's a credit union, and the credit union they are insured by the NCUA. And this is where you can come. And again, all these websites I'll share with you at the end. And this is where you can come to do a search for credit unions and to look into those credit unions. Now, credit unions are, they don't advertise as much. I mean, we have the two big ones. Well, we have a few on Long Island, but like the two big ones that come to mind that are in our backyards, Bethpage Federal Credit Union, we have Teachers Federal Credit Union, Suffolk Federal Credit Union. We have all those. Those are the big ones, but there might be some credit unions that you're not too familiar with. You can come here and see. Maybe you get a new job, and maybe they offer an account at one of these credit unions. You can come here, and again, it's the same thing. You can type in a zip code. Let me see. I'll do. I did Riverhead. So this is actually has the history too. So this is an inactive credit union. The Eastern Suffolk Credit Union started in 1970. And you can see here, that's pretty cool. But let's just do Bethpage, because we know Bethpage, right? And there they are, view. So Bethpage Federal Credit Union has actually been around since 1941. I had no idea. You can see their location. This is their main location is in the Eastern U.S. Community credit unions is their membership type. You can see what their assets are. It's a big credit union. It's a very big credit. 10 billions. It's not bad. And you can see it's huge. They have almost 500,000 members. And this is a great feature. Again, we mentioned before, you can click on locate this credit union, and now you can see. Let me just scroll down here and we can get a little closer. Sometimes this map gets a little strange. Let's see. All right. It's supposed to show me, it might not be rendering correctly, but if you have Chrome or Firefox, it'll show you all the locations here. I'm sorry it's not rendering on this particular page. I mean, you can see it. It seems to be doing something over here, but our closest is in Center Each. You can see tells you the address, telephone number. You can go straight to their website. And again, if you click on research this credit union, it goes back to the page we were before. So again, those are, if you're researching a bank, thinking of banking with a new bank, or you're looking for a bank in your neighborhood, you can come to these websites and get information on that. It's a little deeper than just going to the bank's going to want to sell you on their services. So they might not necessarily tell you what their assets are up front, but at least you can see here. And there are, just so you know, there are websites that'll give you the more specific information. And I'll go back to that in a moment. But in this case, for example, if you're looking for the largest banks, you can come to the National Information Center. It's part of the Federal Financial Institutions Examination Council. And again, these links will all be provided to you at the end. And we can see who the top 10 banks are in the US. JP Morgan Chase is number one, Bank of America, Citigroup, click on it, and then you can get on this particular website, you can get the hierarchy, the history. Sorry, this is going a little slow right now, but you can download PDF reports on the bank. You can see all their financial data of any bank that you're looking for. And I like this site because it breaks it down in the largest. So that is if you want to research a bank. So now let's move forward here. Let me just clean this up. I want to talk about some personal finance. Now, this is part of the U.S. government, and it's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And this is basically how to keep your money safe and how to invest safely. And it's a really great website. And again, now we're moving back towards a more consumer-faced website. It's a little nicer looking. It's a little easier to navigate around. And what I really like is this consumer education section. So, with the pandemic, some of us may have been put into a bad situation with our debt. So I'm going to start with that. So debt collection. So you come here, you go to consumer education, money topics, debt collection. And this is really great. It gives you the basics of everything that might be happening to you right now. You have rights as a consumer when it comes to debt collectors, and this is where you should know. This is where you can come to know what your rights are. Okay. So you can see here the basics, why a debt collector is contacting you, learn what could happen if you avoid a debt collector, learn about some examples of unfair practices by a debt collector. So you can see all this information. These are great articles. You click on them and it will tell you what you need to do and what resources you can use to handle this bad situation. But just at the top here, I wanted to show you how cool these are. These are 5 sample letters to send to debt collectors. So if you need more information about, like, if you get a letter that says you're in, a collections letter, and you have no idea what it is, it's probably a mistake, but you have no idea what it is, you can click on this, need more information. I'm just going to download this, and then I will have to share another screen just so you could see it. So just bear with me for a moment here. And we'll get that. I want to show you what these letters are like. Just open that up. And what's nice is that these are Microsoft Office documents. Actually, they'll open in any any spreadsheet program. And I'm going to open it there. So hopefully you can see that there. So debt collector response sample letter. You're saying, tell me more about this debt. I love this because it's very clear. Tell me more about this debt. This is what you want to say in this letter. It tells you how to use it, gives you the background, and then it says sample letter begins on the next page. So you come to the next page, and now you can enter all your information here. You can edit this letter, and it says, "Dear whoever sent you that letter, I'm responding to your contact about a debt you're trying to collect. You contacted me about so on and so forth." And it lays everything out for you. You don't have to do anything except insert all your personal information, your name, and boom, you're ready to go. This is a really great feature. And it really is, it's a shame that people don't know more about this. And I'm hoping that this is something new for you to learn about. But it really is great for you to come here and be able to download these things and really have it all set up for you. Other topics here, maybe you're thinking about getting an auto loan, maybe you're thinking about getting a new credit card. What are credit reports and scores? If asking for a credit report, is that going to affect your credit rating? All that information is here. Perhaps you're interested in savings. This is great. Money transfers. If you're transferring money to someone maybe out of the country, or you're getting money transferred in, different currencies and whatnot, you can come here and get that information. You can know what your rights are. You may have certain protections when sending money to another country. This is great for you to come to. So you sent money to another country, but it didn't arrive. That's a scary situation. So you can click on that and it'll explain. If you used a remittance transfer provider to select money abroad, federal law gives you the right to have the company investigate errors. Now, what is that? So you can click on it and it gives you the definition of what that is. So really is a great place for you to come and research different things and kind of get like for the lack of a better term, like a hand holding situation without having to speak to anybody. You can come here and research it, look into it, go even deeper, download letters that you can send, regarding, anything that's happening here. And what's also nice is that they have added this section since the pandemic, for coronavirus, managing your finances during the coronavirus, avoiding scams, so on and so forth. I will tell you what we use this website for here at the library is uh, they have a lot of printed materials that we can print out for our patrons. And we didn't do it this year because of the pandemic, but usually during Money Smart Week, we'll have a table out at the library with a bunch of take home things, like nicely printed things that we print out from the organization that helps, folks with their questions when it comes to this kind of stuff. I do want to show you the consumer complaint database because it's pretty cool. So you can file a consumer complaint, especially when it deals with anything having to do with like, credit card or debt collector. You can file it here and they will put it in the database. And it's a great way of you seeing if other people are having similar situations with similar debt collectors. So maybe something might be up. It's also a way for you um, to research your debt collector if you are in debt, your collections agency. They have a nice representation here of how many complaints there are in the United States. And then you can do searches for the company. So if it was a debt collector, you can do a search if it's a mortgage company. You can do a search if it's a credit card, a checking account, an auto loan. You can type the name of the issue here, the state. I mean, is a really great database for you to check. Was interested in just checking, you know, people who might in my neighborhood who might be complaining about things. So you can type in a zip code here, uh, provided by the consumer. Now, just so you know, this is completely anonymous. So they're not going to tell you who exactly is making these complaints. But let me go back. Let me go to list mode here so you can see what these complaints are. They just get assigned a case number, but you can see who they're complaining about. So again, I did center each. Let's go back. Yeah. So I did center each and you can see what people are complaining about. This one in particular is about TD Bank, looks like. General purpose credit card, didn't receive advertised or promotional terms. This is the zip code is here in center each. Did they get a timely response? Company response to consumer closed with an explanation, TD Bank US Holding Company. So this was in October. So you can see, okay, so the company, made a response. So you can see here, if the company does make that response public, you'll see it here in this database. So really a great place for you to come to find out information about, consumers, what they're dealing with, what you might be dealing with. And again, like I said, the most powerful part of this particular resource is that these money topics here. So definitely a great resource for you to check out. So just looking at the time here, I'm just gonna really quickly. I'm sorry that I'm going so fast here, but we'll try to get as much in it here as possible. If you are a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or someone who wants to invest in your child's future, in their college savings, um, you can come to this website, savingforcollege.com, and click on their 529 plan section and research 529 plans. And what I really like about this is that, you can click here and see what's the best for your state. So we'll go straight to New York and see for New York, New York has their own plan, the New York 529 savings plan, direct plan. You can click on this, get information about that plan. They have nice little videos about the plan. They'll give it a rating. So if you're a non-resident of New York, you can actually take advantage of this, and you'll find other 529 plans, the saving plans here. And you can enroll straight to the website. It'll also tell you the different investment options for this particular 529. In this case, they have a lot of age-based portfolios. So the 529 plan will change the older that the student is. So the older that they get, the closer they get to college, the less risky that investment is. And a lot of 529s do that. And this is also very important too. It'll tell you if there's any tax deduction benefit. And in this case, in New York, there is. So you can search for any 529 plan though in the country. And again, you don't have to necessarily pick a 529 in your state. Depending upon what you're interested in and what kind of what kind of benefits you want. Perhaps you have someone living in a different state. You can tell them about, in this case, Virginia gives a $4,000 per year tax credit. I think New York is, we're pretty lucky. New York is very aggressive with that. So $10,000 tax credit if you put that in. So that's the 529. I just wanted to mention that for investing. So speaking of investing, let's talk about that. Now, I want to point out, because of time here, I do want to point out a resource that we have here at the center that is specific to our Miller membership and our library patrons. So if you don't have a Miller membership, you can get one. I will put my contact information in the chat later. And if you like, you can call me or email me for information on how to get a Miller membership. But our members and our patrons have access to Morningstar Investment Research Center. It's a very powerful database that allows you to research mutual funds, stocks, just like all these other sites. There's always some sort of planning and education component here. And what I do like about Morningstar is they have these little quizzes that you can take. So they have these little courses, these investing courses. So you can take a stock course, stocks versus other investments, and then after you take the class, you can take the quiz and see how well you do, and see if you've understood everything that they were talking about in the class. So that's pretty cool too. So all of these places are going to have some sort of education component. So that's all good. But again, Morningstar, what's nice about Morningstar is I can come here and I can screen for stocks or mutual funds. So if I'm thinking of investing in a mutual fund, I can come here, click on it, and then I can look up either the fund provider. I can look up just the rating, the Morningstar rating. You want to give the highest rating, obviously. So I'm just going to type in Vanguard here. Let's see if we get any. There we go. So these are the Vanguard mutual funds. Let's just scroll down here and get one that I might be familiar with. I want to get like a nice one here. Okay, here's a nice one. So this is a Morningstar Gold Fund, and that's the Vanguard 500 Index Admiral. So you can click on the fund report. Oh, let me get, it's blocking my pop-up here. Here we go. All right, let's try that again. All right, that's very strange. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so this is great because you can save this as a PDF and you can download this, print these out. But this is the report on this particular fund. It looks a little daunting, all these charts and whatnot. But again, because this is a consumer based website. You can get all the information by going back into the education section and reading up on what each of these things mean. You can see this particular performance report is from 3/31. This got the gold rating, which means it's very good on February 10th, 2021. Tells you what type of category it is, which index it's in, when it started, gives you a brief description from this particular analyst. So these are written by actual people on the fund. And it gives you everything that you need to know about this mutual fund. And the thing I like about this is it'll tell you, okay, so, a mutual fund are different stocks all put together. Okay. Different investments all put together. So you can see the percentages here. So this is primarily a US based fund. You can see that the majority of it is in technology, communications, defensive, healthcare, uh, financial services. You get the breakdown of what this fund is, and you can see what the top 10 holdings are. So if you were to get this Vanguard fund, your top 10 holdings are companies you've heard of: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Alphabet, which is Google, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan Chase, and Johnson & Johnson. You've heard of all those companies, I hope. So you know that this fund is invested in major companies. And you can see this is a huge, gigantic report. It's actually very pretty too. When you print this out in color, it's actually very nice. And I do like the fact that at the very end here, they'll give you the full disclosure and explain their terminology and explain how they came about this. It's the law. They have to do that. So it's really good. Again, if you're not too familiar with investing in stocks and mutual funds, you can come there and kind of get the lowdown. Now, let's say you don't want to do this yourself. You want to get a financial planner to assist you. You can do that as well. And maybe you want to check up or research who are you going to use to help you in investment. We do a lot of networking events here at the library. Either now they're mostly virtual, but before they were in person. And a lot of financial advisors and analysts and brokers, they're independent. So they might come up to you and say, "Hi, I'm Bob. I'm an a financial broker. I can help you with your investments," and so on and so forth. They'll give you their card, and maybe you like them. You want to do business with them, but you want to see if what their qualifications are, how long they've been in business. So all brokers must register with the government, the SEC, and FINRA. And this is where you can come. It's called Broker Check. And again, I'll include this link in the chat momentarily. And you can come here and look up a particular broker or a firm that could assist you, and you can get information on that. I'm just going to put in a firm because I don't want to call out any particular people that I may know. But let's see here. Who is that? Yeah, it's Charles Schwab, right? Schwab. They're a big company, right? And we'll try to do it local. Let's say New York. New York. Hit search. Or you can type the person's name in. So on their business card, you type their name and you can see. So we have Charles Schwab here. We can, I'm going to pick this one. So you can see what they're all about. Let's see. Is this broker check? Investment advisor firm. Okay. You can see their jurisdictions. Let me just go back here because I wanted to show you. There's a different screen here. Oh, here it is. Okay. This is the screen I was looking for. So you can see here the report on this particular brokerage firm. You're going to get their main address, and then you're going to get all their different sections. Okay. Where they're located, if there are any disclosures, And if you're wondering what a disclosure is, if there is a regulatory event, which means that something happened, they did something wrong, and they got called out for it. So this is a huge, gigantic report. Let me see. I do want to find somebody. I want to show you what that looks like. I'm just going to go really super. I'm going to go really super general here. Okay, here we go. All right, because I want to find person. Let's see, disclosures here. Here we go. All right, so this is Tim Allen. Tim Allen Edwards. Okay, he's a broker. He has 34 years of experience in 3 firms. You can see he's passed 5 exams and he's got 62 state licenses. So imagine this is someone that you've just met who says, hey, I can help you with your investment. You can come here, type their name in. Again, I didn't want to pick anybody that I personally know. So this way I don't want to call anybody out. Just so you know, everybody that I would have put in has stellar ratings, but I just wanted to, keep it on the QT here. But this particular person is in Dallas, Texas. This is the brokerage firm that they work at. We can see a history of the firms they worked at, and you can see where they are now, and you can see what tests they took, and they, if they passed or not. Obviously, in this case, they have passed all these tests, and when they passed, see what organizations they are and where they are licensed to practice their craft of assisting folks in investing. So this is part of FINRA, which is an organization that basically monitors all this stuff along with the SEC. And you can come here and search for particular people to make sure before you trust them with your finances if they're legit, if they have passed all their exams, how long they've been in experience. If you see somebody and they're moving all over the place, like every other year, they're in a different brokerage firm, that might be a red flag for you. You might not want to, do business with them. They also have a great telephone number here, a helpline you can call and actually speak to an actual person when it comes to this stuff. So I'm just noticing that we are close to being out of time. I just wanted to show you really quickly. If you do invest in stocks and you want a great place, or mutual funds, and you want a great place to monitor that, I recommend Google Finance. It's just google.com/finance. And what's nice about it, it's nice and clean. It's neat. It'll show you stocks that you might be interested in, and you can also create a watch list. So you'll come to Google Finance, you'll click on watch list, you can say add, you can say, stocks I'm interested in. Click done. And now I have my watch list, and then I click on add investments, and then I can just type for the companies that I want to watch. It also gives you some, suggestions here based on what's moving right now. But let's say I want to follow the Disney company. I can do a search for Walt Disney, add it to my watch list. And now it shows me your watch list in the news. And then I can add other companies. So maybe I want to add Comcast. Click on that. So now I've added that. And then I want to add, let's see, what other entertainment company here? Let's see, we can do, wow, you kind of get the idea here. Let's do some energy companies here. Exxon Mobil, add that to my watch list. And I could say, you kind of get the idea. Johnson and Johnson. There they are. Okay, so this is my watch list. It'll always be there. When I go to my Google homepage, my Google Finance homepage, I can see now it shows me the top movers in my watch list, if they're going up or if they're going down. It gives me news based on that. It also show me, the trends on some market items. And hey, Tesla, I kind of like Tesla here. Get the news on Tesla. I can click this button here and it says added to watch list, and I can pick which watch list I want it set to. So stocks I'm interested in, so on and so forth. So whenever I go to Google Finance to the homepage, it'll bring me to this section here, show me, what earnings might be coming up. Really good. And I can search for any stocks that I want to do here. I can even search for, if I want to search for the euro. If I want to see what the exchange rate is, I can just type in euro. It shows me the exchange rate. I'm about to travel, about to convert money, that kind of thing. So that's just a quick little tip there. I do like this layout. Very nice, very much. It's very nice and easy to read. And again, there's a lot of other information here that they kind of serve to you based on your interests and based on your watch list. So I know what I was talking about just now is very fast and very furious. It's a lot of information, but it was really meant to be kind of a taste of what's available to you out there regarding uh, websites and resources that will help you with your money and do it smartly and invest your money smartly and save your money smartly. So I'm going to ask if there's any questions in the chat. You can use the chat feature. I am going to post the link to our recording. All our recordings are on our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/Miller Business Center. So you can go there to see this program. If you're watching now on YouTube, hello, please subscribe. You can comment below if you have any questions about what we talked about today. And also, if you want to reach out to us, if you want to reach out to me and set up a one-on-one appointment, you can send me an email. I'll put that email down here right now, DiVincenzo@mcplibrary.org, and I'd be happy to set something up. And we can talk about maybe one of these resources that I just kind of skimmed over. We can go a little in depth with it. We can do that virtually via Zoom, just like our programming or via telephone, and I'll be happy to help you. So if there are no other questions, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I hope you can join us for our next Business Bites next month, which is going to be about podcasting. So we're very excited about that. So like a podcasting 101 program for business owners. So definitely check that out. And again, if you can't make it, you can always watch it here on our YouTube channel. So thanks so much for coming. Again, my name is Sal DiVincenzo, and we'll see you next time on our Business Bites series. Yeah, I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, everyone.